Hey, what's up, dwellers?
How's it going?
Jake Salter here. Alongside me is Francis Parkman. How you doing, Francis?
Good. Hi, Jeff.
Oh.
Jeff's not here today.
Jeff's gone, and whatever. That's fine, I guess.
At least we know the show will be good.
Oh!
Duh.
New button. That was perfect.
Oh, love you, Jeff.
So how's your week been?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. Did some ice fishing yesterday in the snowstorm we had. And, my dad and my cousin and I went out and limited it out, so it was a good day.
Yeah, you got a bunch. That's sweet.
Yeah.
And some sitting in my fridge downstairs right now.
Yeah.
So I'm alright with that, too. That's cool.
It's funny. I don't actually eat fish. Like,
what?
I'll go fishing and, like, I'm not sure how to clean them. Like, I kind of got a crash course in it last night. But yeah, like, I don't eat fish. I'll catch them, I'll clean them to the best of my ability, and I'll look how to cook them, but I won't eat them. It's a texture thing. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I actually never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love fish.
Like, I'll eat tuna because it tastes like chicken.
What?
Yeah. You get like the canned tuna, that's fine.
Tuna?
Yeah, I like tuna. And shrimp. Shrimp is good too.
Huh.
Outside of that, seafood's gross.
Man, I'm all sorts of confused right now and kind of thrown off a little
Yeah.
bit. I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Run the show now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like we mentioned, Jeff's missing, moving, whatever, whatnot. Who cares? But yeah, no, we got a decent show lined up anyway. Episode 44, Francis.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, we got to be getting close there to. What are we? A couple weeks from the 1 year mark?
I think it was like mid-March. I'd have to go back and look, to be honest, because I'm not 100% sure exactly what
Right.
the mark is, but it's definitely coming up. That's for sure. Anyway, I guess we can get into a show preview.
Let's get
I don't think
into
I
it.
have anything else really to talk about other than work's been kind of a hassle, but hey,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Stupid jobs.
Yeah. All right. Today's show highlights, of course, brought to you by Square One Rental Kitchen and Events, and they would like to let you know that their cooking classes are back with COVID-friendly in-person or virtual options. Some upcoming classes through the end of February with Chef Randall. We have Wednesday the 24th, which is tonight at 6 p.m., a half hour ago, because it is 6:37 right now. They are currently doing a quick dinner idea, which is the shrimp sliders that we had talked about, if you remember.
Ooh, yes,
Yeah.
I do remember the shrimp sliders.
Shrimp sliders, and then on Saturday, this coming Saturday at 10 a.m., they have a virtual cocoa bomb class with Michelle from Michelle's Table. All supplies included with that one. So make sure you go and check them out. Sign up at squareonekitchens.com. Hurry up. Those classes do fill up pretty quickly.
Did we ever figure out what those shrimp sliders
Exactly what we thought they were.
like shrimp patties on buns, like
Shrimp-
burgers?
Yeah, it's it's
Shrimp
almost like
burger?
almost like a crab cake.
Ha!
Yeah.
Cool.
You would hate it, apparently.
No, it's shrimp. I like shrimp.
What?
I just told you I like shrimp.
I don't get it, man.
I don't get it either.
Well, anyway.
Don't judge me. You're
I-
judging me. I can see
I
it.
am. I'm totally judging you. It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, our show preview, our highlights. We got some NFL news and nuggets to go over a little
You're a
bit.
bully.
I'm a bully. I don't know about that, man.
Anyway.
Jeff's a bully.
Yeah, that's true. Making us do this all by ourselves.
Almighty Jeff making us do this all by ourselves, and then twisting around and going 3 hours early last week.
Yeah,
Just flipping over tables for him.
just the worst.
That's crazy.
Just the worst.
Love you, Jeff. Anyway, NFL news and nuggets. Bison season opener recap. Kinda.
Kind of a season opener.
Yeah.
Kind of a game.
It was a football thing. FCS Week 1 recap a little bit, and then we're going to get into our draft preview stuff again. This week is running backs and interior defensive linemen, and some special announcements at the end.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff coming up.
Anyway, we can get right into NFL news and notes. Francis, kick it off.
Yeah, so a few things have happened over the last week. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has tested positive for COVID-19, so he's away from the facilities. Obviously, we wish him speedy recovery in that. The Eagles are set to release wide receivers Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey. I believe Deshaun Jackson has been released. Alshon Jeffrey will be released at the start of the new league year, which is March 17th. Expected moves. I think in 2 seasons, Deshaun Jackson played 8 games, I think it was.
Dang.
In 2 seasons. So,
Any landing spots for any of them, or you think they're done?
I think Jeffrey, they'll both get a shot somewhere because, I mean, Deshaun Jackson's still lightning fast. So, I mean, speed wins.
Which is crazy to think about because he's been in the league for a while.
Yeah, he's like 34.
Yeah.
And as for Alshon Jeffrey, I don't know. Injuries have plagued him his whole career. Like, he hasn't been healthy. So it would be, obviously, it's a team that needs like a red zone target, probably, but outside of that, and Russell Wilson, if you're listening, I mean, you already know, but cover your ears anyway, because your offensive tackle, Mikey Iupati, retired after 11 seasons.
That's a hit for an O-line that didn't need to take a hit.
Yeah. So I think we know where Seattle's going in terms of draft capital. Oh, wait, they don't have a first-round pick because they traded it for Jamal Adams.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oy.
Yikes.
Oy. In this one, I wish I could cover my ears, but since I'm talking about it, in a since-deleted tweet, Titans offensive lineman Isaiah Wilson said he is done with football as a Titan, was the official tweet. I did see earlier today that this stemmed from the Titans social media team not wishing him a happy birthday.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. So that's that.
Oh, yeah? Well, screw you guys. I'm going home.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, bye, Felicia.
Wow. That's weak.
It's really...
What are your thoughts on it? It's your team.
I mean, he has been nothing but an issue since being drafted by the Titans. He showed up to camp. I mean, he started on the COVID list in training camp, so he didn't get a whole lot of work in. Then he's overweight, out of shape. They couldn't get him in shape. And then I think he played all of 11 snaps, and he looked horrible on all 11. So
Just kind of whatever then.
I'm to the point where you just send him out the door, call it good.
We don't even care.
Kind of that feeling.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, Dwayne Haskins, but an offensive lineman.
Ouch. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, whatever. And then this last one that came in earlier today, per NFL insider John Clayton, J.J. Watt's time as a free agent may be nearing an end, naming the Green Bay Packers, Buffalo Bills, and Tennessee Titans as the 3 front runners.
Keep telling you, man, the revenge factor.
For the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I'd love to see him in Tennessee, obviously, because you can't possibly make that pass rush worse. But, you know, you'd be surprised, I guess. Not a shock that the Packers are on the list, being a Wisconsin native and playing for the Badgers. And then, obviously, Buffalo is intriguing because of those 3 teams, they're probably the most well-equipped to win a Super Bowl quicker. I mean, as much as that hurts me to say, but...
Yeah, in order, my landing spot for J.J. Watt preference would be Tennessee, Buffalo, about 22 other teams, and then Green Bay is where I'd...
Or one of those 22 tems, the Houston Texans, by
No.
chance. Oh, okay. I was just curious.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so, you know, kind of little bit of a slow news week in the NFL.
As expected. It's going to ramp up, though, with the new league year coming up. And,
Yep.
Pro days, I guess, because there's no
combine.
Yeah,
Which
so
is really disappointing.
You know, I like having the combine on in the background and just kind of like...
Yep.
Even like the radio, you know, Paul Allen goes to it every year, voice of the Vikings, and they do shows from there, and it's kind of nice to, you know, hear what they have to think about some you know, players here and there who might be a good fit for the Vikings and things like that. So that kind of bites. But
I love watching it on NFL Network, listening to like Steve Mariucci and Michael Irvin and stuff, just breaking down guys, and you watch it more, and then you kind of start to get a feel for what scouts are looking for, like in those drills, and you know, this is 2 years now we haven't had a combine, and it's getting mad because I want the combine back.
You know, doing what we're doing too with these player profiles, the college player profiles for
Yep.
the 2021 draft. After watching a few clips, you kind of get a feel the same way
Right.
of what people are looking for, what they're looking at,
Right.
which is kind of neat and kind of fun. So, well, yeah,
Yeah.
NFL news and notes. There it is. There you have it. We'll move on. So, the NDSU Bison played a football game kind of this weekend.
They were there.
They were there against Youngstown State Penguins.
Yep.
Sans, of course, our buddy,
Our good friend Bo Pelini.
Bo Pelini.
Always a friend of the Fargo area with
absolutely.
his tirades.
Yep. And anyway, that's about how the game went. Although NDSU did pick up the W. I don't even have the score up.
25-7.
25-7. I'm surprised we scored 25 points, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, the running game was the running game.
The running game was fine. Seth got hurt again. That kind of stinks. Dang. I saw,
Torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus for Seth Wilson.
where do you think his career lands after that? Do you think he's done with football? That's the second time it's happened to him. Not to that extent, but
I mean, there are players that have bounced back from it. I mean, I would be shocked if a pro team gave him a chance at it. But I mean, it's strange because not a lot of pro teams give NDSU running backs a real chance. I think the last one I can think of is Lamar Gordon had a real chance in the 2000s. Yep. John Crockett had a bit of a chance, but you look back, like DJ McNorton never got there. Sam Ojuri, and like I said, John Crockett had one, but nobody else since John Crockett has.
Tyler Roll.
Yeah, Tyler Roll had a very
cup
brief
of coffee,
stint.
yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. There's a
Yeah.
cup of coffee. Yeah, I would say after his playing days, he's probably, or after his college career, he's probably done.
That's a bummer too. He was a good player when he was healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, run game was good, but we knew it was going to be good. Defense, though, is the biggest strength of the Bison and always will be for the foreseeable future right now, especially.
Right.
They held Youngstown State to 117 total yards.
Yeah, that's typical.
I mean, that's good defense there. I mean, we don't expect much out of Youngstown this year anyway, but that's still
Right.
really good. 117 total yards is nuts.
Right. Yeah, it sucks. I didn't get a chance to really watch the game. But from what I watched, that defensive front for NDSU, I mean, they just bullied Youngstown's offensive line. And you know, we're not saying Youngstown is bad.
Right.
I mean, okay, they're not going to be very good this year. I mean, they're still a talented football team, but losing their entire coaching staff, I believe they lost a lot of players due to graduation or opt-outs or whatever. And so they're rebuilding.
I was going to say, if you can have a rebuilding year in college football, that would be an example.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it is. So, I mean, Youngstown's always going to be pesky in the Missouri Valley. You know, you fall on hard times. I mean, most teams do. Every team does at some point. I mean, even NDSU did before this run. When they first came to D1, I think they had 7 total wins their first 2 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but it'll be exciting to see Youngstown State. They're just caught the short end of the stick for.
There's a process, and I think they understand that too. You know?
Oh yeah. That defense though, they were all over the place.
Yep.
What'd you think of Zeb Nolan, new quarterback for the Bison?
Oh man, he looked uncomfortable.
9 of 18 for 74 yards, no touchdowns, no picks.
I got to watch. I didn't get to watch the whole game, but I got to watch enough to make a judgment call on his game. It wasn't great.
A lot of short hops.
It was. I don't know. For whatever reason, he just didn't look like a comfortable pocket passer, and he had time.
Oh yeah,
he had time to throw the ball, and I don't know. Maybe it'll come with time. But I mean, I don't know. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It was mediocre at best.
It was a blah game.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I don't know what more to say about it.
There's not a lot. I mean, Nolan definitely needs to improve as a passer. Like I said, though, I think that maybe comes with time and a few more games. I think it's a comfortability level.
Right.
That
I'm wondering if not having Phoenix Sproles and not using Christian Watson, our two speed threats and deep threats,
Right.
maybe that had something to do with it.
I do remember seeing a target to Watson that he actually they would have connected.
Yep.
It might have been close for a touchdown, but Watson stumbled a little and threw off the route and threw off the timing. So I mean, it ended up being a technical overthrow, but it would have been on the money, I think. But,
Right.
But again,
Hey, 2-0.
yeah, 2-0 heading into week 3. Week 3 for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
If it's spring, I think technically it's like spring week 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's really
I
weird the
don't
way they
know.
have the naming convention on
Or
the season this year.
That's per ESPN. It's like spring week 5 or something, and it's odd, but yeah, going into I'm gonna call it week 3. We're just gonna call it week
we'll go
3.
Week 3. That's fine.
NDSU at Southern Illinois, the Salukis of Southern Illinois. I believe they started the season at 23 in the rankings, and just a quick recap: they got thumped up in Grand Forks, 44-21 against the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota. And yes, I will emphasize that all the time because it's fun. The Fighting Hawks.
Mm-hmm. Samesies.
I want to call them the North Dakota Postal Service. I do. I mean, look at their logo.
Got him!
Look at their logo.
Yeah.
It's the Postal Service.
You're going to make a whole lot of people mad.
That's fine. Start with your wife, I guess.
If she listened to us, she'd be real mad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I'll just go downstairs and tell her in a minute.
That's fine. Yeah, that works.
So, yeah, like we said, NDSU, Southern Illinois. I believe that is Saturday at noon Central.
Yep.
I don't know a whole lot. We don't really play the Salukis all that much.
No, not really.
They're one of those teams that gets in the schedule
every
rotation
2-3 years or so.
Yep.
Something like that.
There's a lot of protected rivalries for the Bison in the Missouri Valley. You know, and SDSU, USD, UND now, Northern Iowa. But I think it'll be fun. I believe it was last year we played Southern Illinois, and we had a tough time with them a bit. They were a tough out the last time we played them, and they're gonna be. They're a good team. You know, they'll be fine, but it'll be. Yeah, here it is. Oh, November 23rd, 2019, we played them last, and we won 21-7 in that game. So, atypical Bison game for that 2019 team.
Sure.
Your thoughts on the game?
The upcoming one?
Yeah.
I think it'll be probably as close as that, to be honest with you. Not confident in the pass game right now. They're going to have to show me some more for me to be more confident to predict their score to be up in the 40s like I did last week.
Right.
With that said, I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a closer game, I think.
Wait, did you say for the Salukis to be in the 20s or
No,
in the 40s
for
or
NDSU.
for NDSU? Okay,
NDSU,
okay,
yeah, because I predicted that score to be like 40 something to like 13 or
I had it like 41-3.
yeah. I definitely need to see more out of the passing game for me to be comfortable in predicting them in the 40s again. But
Sure.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Southern Illinois.
Yeah,
No idea.
I mean,
That could be a factor too, but
I mean, it was 2 days ago. It was 45 degrees here,
Right.
and yesterday it was 20 and blizzarding.
right,
So
exactly. I don't know if they get any semblance of a passing game that resembles anything of a actual passing
of an
game.
actual passing game, yeah.
The run game will do its thing, and the defense plays anywhere. Defense travels.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not worried about the
No,
defense.
they'll lock it down. So I don't know. I say we win this one by 2-3 scores.
2-3 scores, yeah. Just looking back at the UND Southern Illinois game, 5 turnovers by Southern Illinois in that game probably had something to do with that. They'll clean that up
Sure.
quite a bit. So, I expect it's going to be another tough Missouri Valley game. They all are. There's maybe one game a year that is it's usually Missouri State, but
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this game. I won't really get to watch this one either, I don't think, 'cause I think
Aw,
I gotta work.
nuts.
Gotta work that day. So, yeah, that's, let's go for 3-0. Martin, go for the 3-peat.
All right. Well, as NDSU, Southern Illinois, we can get into a little bit of a recap, just some interesting scores that we found in week 1. JMU pounding Morehead State 52-0.
Like the number 2 team in the country should.
Yeah, no surprise there. Good game. NDSU 24, UNI 20.
SDSU?
That's what I said. I
Nope.
thought.
You said NDSU.
SDSU 24.
South Dakota State.
Sorry, South Dakota State. UNI played a football game.
Yeah, there you go. Number 5 SDSU.
24-20 SDSU came out winners.
South Dakota State scored with, I believe it was 18 seconds left in the game to take the lead and win that one.
Bummer.
And then obviously we touched on UND winning their Missouri Valley Football Conference opener. First Missouri Valley game for the Fighting Hawks.
Yep, 44-21 over Southern Illinois.
Up at that renovated barn that is the Alara Center. Have you been there to the Alara Center?
For a concert once, it was a long time ago.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I guess I've never seen it for a football game. I didn't really care too much about the concert. I thought it was fine for that.
I was up there for a high school game when I was in high school, and oh my Lanta.
Whoopsies.
That's, woof.
They made a mistake.
It's not good. It's not. They probably should have asked Ralph Engelstad for some
I was
money
going
for
to say,
that.
flip side, I'll give UND some props for the Ralph, because that place is pretty baller.
Yeah. Some other scores. Tarleton State 43 over FBS New Mexico State 17. New Mexico State has been horrible for years, and from what I saw on social media, it is time for New Mexico State to drop down to the FCS.
Yeah, really?
Oh, yeah.
What are they saying?
Just New Mexico's been bad for years, and they need to not play in them. I think they're in the Mountain West right now, or yeah, I believe it's the Mountain West right now, and they're terrible.
I gotta be honest, I had no idea that they were FBS up until the Tarleton news came out when they beat them 43-17.
Right.
Because I believe that was Tarleton State's first ever win against an FBS team.
Yes, because they just bumped up to FCS. So they're in their second game, they got an FBS upset.
I mean, good for them. I mean,
Yeah,
regardless if they suck or not,
right?
Right.
I mean, we probably could have beaten New Mexico State, but it's fine.
We, like you and me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, NDSU would have thumped them. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
And then congratulations goes to primetime coach Deion Sanders and Jackson State, beating Division Division II Edward Waters 53-0. Glad he got his stuff back too after the game.
Did he? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, apparently it was misplaced or something. I don't know. Whole crazy thing.
So it wasn't actually stolen. It was just misplaced.
I don't know. Some people are calling it misstolen. Dion's calling it stolen. Everybody else saying it was misplaced.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. They won. They
whatever.
won big.
Yeah,
Good for them.
Should do some top 10?
Do some top 10.
Okay. No surprise. North Dakota State at 2-0 stays at number 1. James Madison stays at number 2. South Dakota State jumps 2 spots to number 3. Weber actually falls 1 to number 4, even though they haven't played a game yet. UNI took SDSU's spot at falling from 3 to 5. 6 through 10, Villanova, Illinois State, Kennesaw State, Nichols, and Furman round out the top 10. And we had a couple notables here. Eastern Washington is at 12. I believe Big Sky Conference schedule starts this
week. Yep.
I believe it is. UND jumps into the top 25 at number 14 after handling Southern Illinois. Man, Southern Illinois fans are not going to like this podcast if any listen. We're just beating them.
I'll hashtag them a bunch so they're forced to listen to it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good. And then our good friends, the Sam Houston State Bearcats. And at 17, I believe their season starts. I don't know what's going on with a lot of Southern teams. Their conferences are getting crazy over there.
Super weird. The conferences are weird. The schedule is weird. The schedule naming convention is weird. Everything is weird.
Everything is
weird.
weird.
Everything's weird.
It's all weird. It's not normal. Kind of like our friendship.
Oh my God, that is so accurate.
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
Aw. Weird. So we got some quote-unquote week 2 games.
No, wait, yeah. We called them week 2 games.
Yeah,
right?
we did. That's why I said quote-unquote
Yeah,
week
yeah.
2 games.
Yeah.
Only a few interesting ones. We this 3 on the slate here. SDSU, I said it right this time.
Yeah, there you go.
At UND, which we thought was an interesting matchup. This Saturday coming up, the 27th at 12 p.m.
5 versus 14.
Should be a pretty good game up in Grand Forks. University of South Dakota at Illinois State, also Saturday at noon.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Carbondale, Illinois. That would be interesting to see how South Dakota looks this year. I feel like they're always like on the cusp, but they keep getting beat up by Big Brother in the conference, and they can't quite climb the.
And in a normal season too, like everybody's got the non-conference schedule or whatever. They look and they look really good.
Yep.
And they might win like the first couple 3
Yeah,
or
they win
so
like 3
conference
non-conference
games. And they're like,
games.
oh, here comes USD.
And then they meet North Dakota State,
Oops.
South Dakota State,
Yeah.
Illinois State, and it's like, oh,
Well, and that's the thing too, is you get some hope. You're like, oh, this is gonna be a good game, and then it's not.
right. But
Yeah.
the hunter in me says all coyotes should die, so it's fine. It's fine. This is
Yeah,
fine.
it is what it is.
Everything's fine.
And then the last one on our list here is Robert Morris at JMU. Of course, number 2's got to get a little love there.
Oh yeah,
Saturday, the 27th at 11 a.m.
yeah. Hopefully the games. I'm certain the games will pick up later in the
think
season. I
so.
mean, like you said, we're in week 2.
Yeah.
So
Well-
we're still learning about a lot of these teams.
The cream will rise to the top. We'll get to figure out who's going to be able to compete in the middle and figure out who's going to make up that 16-team bracket this
Yeah.
year. So that'll be interesting to see and watch and everything else.
Oh, that's what we should put in here too. The NCAA announced there will be fans for their fall championships that got
Really?
moved to the spring. Yep, and their
right.
winter championships.
Nice.
It's going to be, I believe, 25% capacity, and so the actual number will fluctuate depending on stadium size. So
Okay.
Frisco, then, as in my understanding, would be about 6,000 fans, if memory serves. I believe that can hold 20-some thousand. So
I gotta feel like they would be obligated to split that up in half for each team.
yeah.
Yeah.
So not looking good for my return trip to Frisco.
Yeah, you never know,
It's
man. You
disappointing.
never know. All right, hey, what do we say we get into our 10 players, the 5 running backs
Yeah.
and the 5 D linemen? Is that cool?
Let's do it.
All right. Before we do that, though, I do want to let y'all know that Square One Kitchens knows that cooking dinner every night is not easy, and that's why they got Square One to Go, where you can pre-order delicious meals made by local food businesses and pick it up on curbside. This next week will feature a delicious dinner from Luca's Italian Bistro. You can pre-order starting this Friday, the 26th, through Wednesday, March 3rd at 10 a.m. Pick it up curbside on Thursday, March 4th between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m. And then also, check this out. Have you ever wanted to get your kids in the kitchen? But man, they can make a mess, right? And I know you don't have kids, but
kids
you
are messy.
understand this because you have a niece.
Kids are messy.
They're definitely
kids
messy.
are messy and dirty. Don't get me wrong. Like, kids are awesome, but they're messy and they're dirty.
Well, guess what? Square One can handle the details, and you can actually do a cooking class and hold a kids' party with your kids. With great kids cooking and baking classes, it's perfect for birthday parties. A great time for everybody. Make cupcakes. You can make pizza, cake pops, pasta. They're entertaining and fun, and your kid might even choose to make some food for you with their newfound skills. So you can check that out and Square One to Go at squareonekitchens.com. Look them up for more details.
Almost makes me wish I had a kid.
Yeah,
Almost.
almost.
Just almost. Not quite.
All right, well, let's get into our running backs. So we rank
right.
these again, each individually, 1 through 5.
Yep. And we're going to do just yours and mine,
Yep.
and then at the end we'll share Jeff's, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for
whatever.
being here, Jeff.
Anyway, let's kick it off. You want to start at 1?
Yeah, I mean, it's a unanimous one, so we
Go for it.
might as well. Travis Etienne, University of Clemson, or is it Clemson University? I think it's Clemson University.
Is it? So I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter. It matters. It matters to them. I know that.
Yeah, and it matters to me because I want to be right.
That's fair.
I mean, he was best running back in college for a few years. There was some drop off this year as the O-line kind of downgraded due to, I think, all 5 starters from last season's team went pro. So whole new offensive line.
That will happen. Mm-hmm.
The one bright side from Travis Etienne, though, was his passing skill, or his receiving skills really improved this year. He showed out a lot as a passer. Per Pro Football Focus, he had a 90.9 receiving grade with 588 receiving yards, which led the FBS at the running back position. I like him. 5'10", 205, that's about ideal for a running back. I'd like to see a little more muscle.
Yeah, that's not huge.
For me, I want to see a little more muscle on running backs. I want them probably in that 215 to 225 range. So if he puts on another 10 pounds, I think he'd definitely be durable in that. Wow, and Pro Football Focus's reviews. So for those who don't know, we do have a subscription to Pro Football Focus that we paid for.
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, we use it for reference.
Yes.
And then we kind of make our own evaluation based on that.
Yep.
And a mix of that and highlights that we go back and we look at. So we're not just reading from Pro Football Focus. There's actually some homework involved here.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, go ahead.
No, yeah, I love Travis Etienne. He's an absolute home run threat. That's the kind of guy I want at the running back position. He's a guy who he can get past the second level and then nobody's going to catch him. He has that breakaway speed. I love that he can catch the ball. I think a 3-down back has to be able to catch the ball.
For sure.
Obviously. He's not very lateral not that kind of one cut and go. He can't cut or get out to the edges a lot. Mm-hmm. But I mean, with that home run speed, it's really intriguing. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. The one thing I will take from Pro Football Focus is his NFL comp, and it's a more elusive Lamar Miller.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I love Travis Etienne. If I didn't have Derrick Henry in Tennessee, I would want Travis Etienne in Tennessee. So.
Sure. Like you said, it was a unanimous selection. Etienne at the top here. Like you said, 5'10", 200. Not huge. Probably needs to gain a little bit more weight in the muscle range, obviously. Ran a 4.46 640. I think it was last season, he actually averaged 7.8 yards a carry, 1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns. Like you said, could be a definite 3-down starter in the NFL, especially with his pass catching abilities, speed, explosiveness. You covered it all. Big playability. The one thing I did notice, both off of Pro Football Focus and in some film on YouTube, he can actually dance a bit in the interior and looks to bounce everything outside instead of hitting the hole in front. So he's going to have to probably improve on that a little bit. But other than that, his absolute, you're absolutely correct. He's a great weapon as a check down receiver, can turn a short catch into a chunk gain. I went looking for maybe a different NFL comp, and I came up with Giovanni Bernard.
Okay.
Both kind of smaller, fast backs who are dangerous receivers and natural runners. So that was kind of where I landed with him a little bit. I don't disagree with Pro Football Focus's one. I just wanted to maybe try to find something similar and different.
That's a good comp. I was really trying to find a different comp for him myself, and I really couldn't pick one. But Giovanni Bernard is a really good comp. If Etienne can stay healthy, he's going to be very, very good. Like Giovanni Bernard, in the fantasy football aspect of it, when he went to the Bengals, everybody was on Giovanni Bernard, and he couldn't quite stay healthy, and he just couldn't get consistency. So for Travis Etienne, it's all going to depend on where he lands. I mean, and that's the case for all these rookies.
Sure.
Where they land in their coaching staff.
Exactly. Well, I'll take number 2 because Jeff's is actually the same as mine.
Sure.
So we took Najee Harris from Alabama at number 2.
I had him at 3.
Okay. 6'2", 230, runs a 40 time at 4.53.
A little slow for a running
slow,
back.
yeah. So speed's a little bit of a concern. But watching tape on him, he's more of a power runner, run throughs the tackles. And God dang it, can he move a pile, man. Holy crap. And as an added bonus in 2020, this year, he really upped his pass protection game, and that's going to be extremely valuable. And that's kind of why I had him bumped up a little bit on this list at number 2. Full disclosure, this whole running back, like these top 5 running backs, actually could probably even put it at 6 or 7. The theme I saw with all of these running backs, save for maybe 1 or 2, and I think Najee Harris might be 1 or 2, is that almost every one of these guys could maybe be a slot receiver.
Sure.
Like,
okay.
It was crazy watching the tape on these guys and seeing their catchability.
Yeah,
and their their awareness on the field and where to find the holes in the zone. A couple of toe tap catches, even like it was crazy watching that. I was like, am I really watching a running back right now? But anyway, Harris added pass protection. He really started squaring up blitzers, did a great job of diagnosing where rushers were coming from too, and you could see that in the film. It was really good. He was good at cutting down those incoming rushers. So
sure,
yeah. With that said, though, great catch radius too. Again, there's that slot receiver thing. He can make a catch and make plays in open space. He's got good hands, excellent vision. He's got anticipation to follow his line, bursting downhill on the runs.
And I think it's interesting coming from Alabama. You don't see a lot of Alabama running backs being asked to catch the ball.
Nope.
Because they don't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't have to. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I do have a question because I brought it up with Mac Jones last week when we did our quarterbacks. Is playing at Alabama a con for him when you're scouting him?
I think it's different for running backs, and the reason why is because you still need to read a defense, but at the same time you're reading your line, you're reading where your hole's going to be. I don't think it hurts him as much as a running back.
Okay.
And honestly, he's playing with basically a professional offensive line against maybe not so much a professional defensive line. But at the same time, you still have to have play recognition. You still have to diagnose the plays as far as pass protection goes, who's coming from where, what hole you're supposed to go through, and if it's not there, what's your second option? And then, the ability to make something out of nothing, too. And you can't really coach that. You just do it. So, I don't know. It's 50-50 for me, I think, in that regard, but it doesn't affect the running back more as much as a quarterback, in my opinion.
Yeah. The reason, obviously, because like you said, Alabama is head and shoulders above everybody else in the FBS. My reason for having Harris at 3 is the speed.
Sure.
Yeah, like I just stated with ETN, I want those running backs that can hit a home run. I would like.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus has him comped at Matt Forte. Can you remember Matt Forte ever hitting that 75-yard home run?
No, but I feel like he.
But he had great pass catching ability, which
he did, yep.
which. And I was thinking about this, and that comp is so good for Najee Harris, is he's not fast.
I got a different one. I got a different comp.
Okay.
Mark Ingram. Both physical backs, versatility to contribute as a blocker or a receiver.
In a foot race, who wins, Mark Ingram or Najee Harris?
Tie.
Got to pick one.
Probably Najee Harris.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Now, I like and
just from a build point of view, 6'2", 230. That's pretty much Mark Ingram, and I don't know.
I think Mark Ingram's a bit shorter than that.
You might be, but looking at film and just like reading up what Pro Football Focus had to say about him. Mark Ingram just kind of was like, hey, this could be a Mark Ingram type of guy to me.
Okay, yeah, I like the Matt Forte comp, and honestly, if he has a healthy career and is used the same way Matt Forte was, that's got like borderline Hall of Fame consideration there.
Yeah.
Again, I say health-wise because Matt Forte was not healthy a
No.
lot. I know this because he was on my fantasy team a bunch.
He was a dynamic back to have, though.
But he just, yeah.
It was fun to watch.
But like I said, I have him down at 3 because he's still very good. That pass catching kind of negated the lack of speed for me. Only had 25 career games or 25 career carries of 20-plus yards, according to Pro Football
Really?
Focus.
Oh.
Yeah, in Alabama, where they beat everybody all the
Right,
time,
right.
you couldn't run more than 20 yards, only 25 times. Yeah, that's why I have him down at 3.
That's fair, I guess. Yeah.
My number 2 is Javonte Williams of North Carolina,
Which actually Jeff and I have at 3.
so that works out.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I have Javonte Williams. Just like I said, that speed, breaks tackles. He was the guy who really broke out this year. But the thing is, go back his last 3 years. 2018, he had 43 carries. 2019 got bumped up to 165, and then the crazy 2020 year, he dropped off by 8 carries. But he had 1,168 yards in 8 less carries this year. 2019, 937. So he's going off for 7.4 an attempt and had 19. Dang. Like, he really blew up.
Yep.
That's a bit of a con, but I like where he's at. He's 5'10", 220. He's a junior, so, he's a year younger than Etienne and Najee Harris, I believe. Is Najee Harris a senior? Was he a senior?
I'll look it up.
But yeah, so that's what really set him apart for me. For those of you listening, go ahead.
Harris is a senior, yes.
Harris is a senior. So I like that age. I would have put Javonte Williams at 1 had he produced his entire college career.
Sure.
Just because I like where he's at, his build and everything. Yeah, I mean, you look at it, missed tackles that he forced this year, 76, tops in the country.
I'm glad you brought that up. That I thought that was a really cool stat to bring up, to be honest with you. And he actually, I have it in my notes that he broke the Pro Football Focus record for broken tackles per attempt at .48.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Pro Football Focus is so awesome.
It is sweet.
If you guys are out there listening and you really want to look at some cool stats, I think we paid $40 for our subscription. Pay the $40 and just go full stat geek on Pro Football Focus.
And it's clean. It's easy to use.
It's so easy to read.
It's fantastic.
We need to call them about a sponsorship. I mean,
we're doing a great job promoting them right now.
Doing this for free.
ProFootballFocus.com.
Yeah. But I liked their comp of Javonte Williams as a bigger Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones well,
Yep.
being in the NFC
Sure
North.
do.
He is a dynamic back. A bigger version of Aaron Jones is scary.
I don't like it. I don't like it because Aaron Jones is really good.
Aaron Jones really well. You won't have to deal with him anymore.
I sure hope not. As long as it doesn't go to the Bears or the Lions or,
Where do you think he goes?
Oh God, I don't know.
Just off the top of your head.
I really don't know. I don't even know what round he's projected in. I had it written down.
No,
and thought.
no, Aaron Jones.
Oh, Aaron
Not
Jones.
Javonte Williams, yeah, as a free agent.
I think he wants to go back to Green Bay.
Think he gets tagged?
It's possible.
That'd be the only way I think they could do it.
It's possible. Who else would they tag? Everybody else is locked.
That's fair.
I mean, why not?
Yeah,
I would. Damn it.
No, they won't take it. They got AJ Dillon.
Oh yeah,
they
that's
got
true.
AJ.
That's true.
I don't think they'll take him. I think he goes to Atlanta.
Really?
In the rebuild in Atlanta.
I'm not mad about that. Go to Atlanta. That's fine.
Go, just get out of Green Bay. Just leave the NFC North, please.
Yeah, not much you said about Javonte Williams that I didn't have. I like in Pro Football Focus that he shows power and quickness and then, quote, chooses violence. That was awesome. I love that. He
chooses violence.
What? No, I'll get into the notes that I wrote watching some highlights for him. He's got really great balance and is super elusive in the open field. Able to be a decent goal line and short yardage runner too. He can push the pile and pick up yards after contact, which is what you want in every freaking running back, honestly. Receiving ability is there. Definite 3-down starting potential in the NFL. Pro Football Focus, like you said, had him graded out as a bigger Aaron Jones. When I was watching film on him, I thought his semi-upright run style and the way he looks for contact sometimes reminds me of a guy by the name of Adrian Peterson.
Okay.
With his upright running style, and he's not looking to get out of bounds. He will hit you.
High-end comp there for
I'm just saying
Javonte.
I'm just saying his running style and his willing to take contact is reminiscent of Adrian Peterson.
Sure.
I'm not saying he's going to be Adrian Peterson.
Sure.
It's just that what it reminded me of when I was watching him.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Go to number 4?
Yeah, sure. Number 4 for me, and you actually, was Khalil Herbert of Virginia Tech. A 5'9", 212 guy, 40 time about 4.57, so not great.
Not super speed.
Not great, not terrible. Faster than me, not that it takes much.
By about 2 seconds.
Easily 2 seconds.
I've watched you hit a triple, and it takes a while.
Hey, come on, man.
It takes a minute. Like a literal minute.
Come on.
You know what we should do when softball starts? You and I should race. Do a first to third race.
The first to third race?
First to third race.
It's probably going to be pretty close.
Yeah? All right. Well, no.
If it had been like 5 years ago, I bet I would have toasted you.
5 years ago?
I was a pretty quick guy.
Let's see. 5 years ago, I was
I'm in the
27. Because, my birthday's in a week. Yeah, my birthday's in a week. Send me presents. 5 years ago, possibly.
I'm in the last half.
Probably.
I'm in the last half of my 30s. I was pretty fast, even into my early mid 30s.
Do you want to do it though? First to third race?
Oh, why not?
Well,
why not?
We'll make a video and see who wins.
It's got to be mid season though.
You want to do mid season? How about a couple weeks? Because we both play 3 nights a week, right?
Yeah.
So we'll do 2 weeks of ball and then race.
That should be enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if it isn't, we'll go maybe more towards the middle, but should be fun. But it's the weirdest thing. Okay, story time.
Go ahead.
So every year, for whatever reason, either the first or second week, I always end up tweaking a groin muscle. It's the same one that I pulled pretty bad, like, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, right? But it always happens, and I'll stretch. I stretch a lot. I stretch, dude. I don't not stretch because of this, right? Every year, it never fails. I'll tweak that same groin muscle, and it'll be completely fine the week after. Like it'll bug me a little bit for the rest of that game.
Just get that little tear in there.
Yeah,
and then you're fine.
And it's completely fine. It's a complete bitch for like an hour, and it'll be sore for about a week, and then I'm completely fine the rest of the season. Yep. Yeah, it's totally crazy.
You know how you combat that? You start doing softball drills a week before season starts. Tear it before the season, and then
we should do that because
be fine.
It's miserable when trying to play a game.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
All right, so number 4. Sorry, tangent. Number 4, Khalil Herbert from Virginia Tech. Again, 5'9", 212, runs a 40 and 4.57. I ranked him here above a couple of guys just due to him being more of a pure running back and not, can probably play slot receiver or anything like that.
Sure.
He had a breakout 2020. That's what puts him in this top 5 for me. He's also the smallest back in my group at 5'9".
Yeah, same. Very much same.
But with that, his low center of gravity kind of helps. He's also kind of an older guy, too. He's a 5th-year senior.
Yeah.
Which
don't die.
Which sometimes can be looked at as a negative.
Whatever.
Wow, that's rude. Which can be looked at a negative sometimes as being a 5th-year senior.
Right.
But I don't know.
Just because the shelf life of running backs is so low.
Exactly. He does have some sneaky speed, but when I was watching a few clips of him, I feel like he could have maybe been gone on a few of those. So like he had wide open field, nobody in front of him. He didn't really have to do much to get there, and he got caught from behind a decent amount. Okay. So he might have sneaky speed to begin with, but I don't feel like he's got that like second or third gear that he can kick it into.
that third, fourth gear that you need
exactly
to break
away. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, chunk plays is great. 30, 35, 40 yards, awesome.
Right.
But I mean, 65-yard touchdown's cooler.
Yeah.
You know what
that's,
I mean?
That's true. True.
What do you think? What do you think of him?
I like him. I like the low center of gravity. You know, a lot of it is like is really kind of a 1-year hit at Virginia Tech. He was actually at Kansas first.
That's right. Yep, he left mid-year.
Playing
or
for the
like that.
and there was and that kind of bothers me a little bit because there was never really any explanation why he left. My biggest guess is to be closer to home, as he's from Plantation, Florida.
Sure,
is where he went to high school. But you know, I like him. I don't like his age. They, like you said, I think they comped him to Jay Ajayi. You said that, right?
I did not, but yeah.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Pro Football Focus comped him to Jay Ajayi. You know, if he can keep that low center of gravity, and he would definitely have to go to a system where if he was the lead back, it would have to be like a 60-40 timeshare.
I agree to that. Yep.
You know, something that, but yeah, it would be a Jay Ajayi at best. I would say Maurice Jones-Drew.
That's a good one too.
I mean, just, you know, Pocket Hercules. Isn't that what they called him?
Yeah,
Pocket Hercules.
I feel like Maurice Jones-Drew is probably a little bit more.
He was shorter for sure.
Well, definitely shorter
and thicker.
No, I guess that's a pretty good comp. I think I'd agree to that. I definitely agree to that. Just for the record, Jeff actually had Khalil Herbert at 5.
Okay.
So he had a guy on here that we actually didn't, I don't think. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go to number 5, my number 5, because we each had different number 5s.
Yep.
My number 5 was Kenny Gainwell from Memphis.
Sure. I did not have him ranked.
This one was fun for me, and I think you'll appreciate this. So, 5'11" guy, 191, smaller on the weight side. Speed, though, 4.47 40. Not bad.
That's, yeah, about, you want to be like 4.2 to that 4.5 range, 4.6 range for a
good running back, yeah. He did opt out of 2020. He did lose 4 family members to COVID.
Jeez.
But that does make him a 1-year guy out of Memphis. So,
sure.
You know, the competition level, maybe not exactly there, but you can't really count him out either because Memphis did play some decent teams.
Oh, yeah.
He's a strong route runner, and this is one of those guys that could be looked at as a legitimate slot receiver. He had 3 drops on 60 catchable targets. He runs crisp routes, elite agility. When watching film on this guy, there was almost more of him receiving than there was of him running the ball. And I'm telling you, man, he could be a decent slot receiver. They weren't wrong. He's fast and explosive as a back. He is a definite threat to break off a long gain no matter where he touches the ball on the field.
Sure.
Dangerous runner still, even between the tackles. He's tough. He stays behind his pads as a runner. Good balance, and he actually can get through contact more often than not through the middle. Here, my comp is kind of fun.
All right.
I think you'll like it. So my comp to Kenny Gainwell is Christian McCaffrey.
Ooh.
The reason for that is because
explain yourself.
I'm going to, because his style of play is so similar to Christian McCaffrey as a dual threat.
Okay.
Playmaking ability as a running back or as a receiver. I mean, I'm not saying that Gainwell is going to be Christian McCaffrey. I'm just saying that his style of play looks super similar to it. And honestly, Gainwell could be your poor man's Christian McCaffrey. Or maybe the next one. We don't know. But,
right.
You know, I'm going to protect myself and say that he's not going to be. But his style of play definitely reminded me of Christian McCaffrey, especially as a receiver and the way he runs in the backfield. Because we all seen Christian McCaffrey. We know what he's capable of and how he runs the ball. And,
yes, we do.
And ridiculous. But I honestly think Kenny Gainwell is going to be an early second-day steal for somebody.
Okay.
And he's kind of my dark horse in this 5 group here.
Okay.
So I like him a lot.
You know, I really shouldn't be so surprised that you comped Gainwell to Christian McCaffrey, or at least shocked that somebody did it, because last week I comped Zach Wilson to Patrick Mahomes.
That's true, you did.
So, I mean, who am I to talk? Like, I mean, and for the record, we should point out that this is probably our first time really ever scouting players and watching film.
Yep.
And so we are absolute novices at this.
It's really fun.
You know, it's a lot of fun.
ProFootballFocus.com.
We need to get Chris Collinsworth on the phone and be like, "Hey, man, can you sponsor us?
Help us out.
Like, help us out. We bought your subscription. We do a podcast.
Cut a commercial for us. It'll be great.
Or just give us money and we'll plug your website.
That'll work too. Whatever. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. Hit me up, CC.
Or maybe we got to go through Al Michaels or something.
I don't know.
Anyway,
There's a guy. Sorry.
Oh. Now here's
National Football League.
oh.
Sorry, I had to do it. When you talk about Chris Collinsworth, you got to throw in
You
some
have
stuff
to.
like that.
You have to. Now here's a guy.
In the National Football League.
I do find it I think it's cool that his son is now part of the Sunday Night Football crew.
Is he really?
Yep,
Oh, yeah,
Jack.
yeah, Jack.
Jack
That's
Collinsworth.
right, yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right, we'll get to my number 5, and then we'll get some interior defensive linemen in here.
Sounds good.
My number 5 is, I hope I say this right, Demetric Felton out of UCLA, standing at 5'10", 200. He is a redshirt senior, so kind of like who's the guy we were talking about earlier? Names are hard.
Najee Harris?
No, Khalil Herbert.
Oh, yeah, the fifth-year guy.
Yep,
sorry.
That fifth-year guy. So age is a bit of a thing there. I like him due to his shiftiness. You know, he makes those cuts. The one thing I'm stealing from Pro Football Focus here is when they put in the pros here, very likely a child tag prodigy.
Oh, what?
Like the game tag. A prodigy at it because he could avoid getting tagged.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like
that's pretty sweet.
That's like the funniest thing. Like I don't think I've ever seen any type of scouting report say something like that.
Nope,
like
first time.
Chris Collinsworth wrote that. I know it. I know he did. Cece, hit us up. Come on, man.
Hey, come on, man.
Yeah, you know, like I do like those shifty backs. His size is good. He's not fast. Like I did say, I want those guys who can hit those home runs. This is the only one who's not much of a home run hitter on my list. He put on muscle. Man, I'm starting to talk like Jeff over here. Wow,
I think Jeff is still trying to talk into the microphone from wherever the hell he's at right now.
You know, Jeff might start to think that we're actually not his friends. At
I know,
some
right?
point.
We're kidding, Jeff.
We love you.
Yeah.
Don't leave
My name's
us.
Jeff.
I'm not going to do it, but I had to play that.
Don't leave us. Please don't leave us. I can't deal with Jake by myself.
Oh God! No, God, please, no!
Yeah.
No, all right, Steve Carell. Thanks. Hey, Steve Carell, hit us up too. Yeah. You
Why
do that
not?
too. The one thing I didn't exactly like about Felton here, getting back on track because we've been getting off track here, is he's not a great runner between the tackles, and he doesn't really tend to fight for yards. But those things can be coached.
Sure.
And in the right system, running between the tackles will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
So those things can be coached. Again, 200 pounds is not really an ideal weight for me as a scouting a running back. You know, like I said, probably put another 15 pounds on him of muscle, and I think he'd be really good. They have him graded as a 4th rounder. Pro Football Focus does, and his comp is Justin Forsett.
Okay.
You know, Hopefully he has a longer career than Justin Forsett, because I don't even know where Justin Forsett is anymore in the league. I don't think he's in the league anymore.
I got nothing, bro.
But yeah, that's my number 5. I wish I could have done more homework on him, but the fish were biting yesterday, and we stayed out.
That's okay. I got a couple pounds
night.
of crappie for it, so I'm
Yep.
not mad at all. I'm not.
How are you going to cook those anyway?
Oh no, I could bread them and fry them up.
That's what I was because crappie fillets are small.
Also, I could do them in parchment paper and pouch them, and do them unpapillote style. If you've ever heard of that.
I have no idea what that is.
So you take the fish. You actually cut out. Okay, so you take the parchment paper. You cut out like a heart shape.
Okay.
And then you put your fish on one side of the heart shape, and you
Sure.
put like your seasonings or whatever else you want to put in it.
Sure.
Then you fold it over, and then you fold over the edges, and you just make a pouch out of it. You can put it in the oven, and it'll steam itself
Oh,
and everything else with it. And then you just cut
Interesting.
open the pouch afterwards and eat it up.
interesting.
Yeah, it's really good
That-
and easy too.
That sounds interesting. I'm not going to try it, but
That's the culinary degree coming out
yeah,
in me. I
yeah,
guess.
way to use it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, time to time I use it. We did grill this weekend. I don't know if I told you that. Or was it this weekend? Monday. It was Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you grill ribeyes?
No, it was just burgers. It was too windy. And actually, right as the burgers were done, I was putting cheese on them. My propane went out. Oops. Poof, poof. And I'm like, oh, crap.
Oh, darn it.
That was good, though, because now I can just switch it out and eat
Right.
some new stuff. That'll be all right. All right. Well, hey, that was it for our running back rankings. Just to recap real fast, mine were I can never say Travis's last name correctly.
Etienne.
Travis Etienne from Clemson, Najee Harris of Alabama, Javonte Williams, North Carolina, Khalil Herbert, Virginia Tech, and Kenny Gainwell of Memphis. Francis? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I can do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Etienne of Clemson, Javonte Williams, North Carolina, Najee Harris, Alabama, Khalil Herbert, Virginia Tech, and Demetric Felton, UCLA. And then Jeff's, I guess we can do Jeff's, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Etienne is number 1, Najee Harris at number 2, Javonte Williams at number 3, Michael Carter, number 4. I would have liked to hear his take on that.
I would have
one.
as well.
And then Khalil Herbert, number 5 for Jeff. So that was it for our running backs. Before we get into our interior defensive line, I do want to remind everybody that you can listen to us on Spreaker.com, Apple iTunes Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/CD Sportscast, Twitter at CD Sportscast, and YouTube as well. And, of course, you can always email us suggestions, feedback, comments, or tell Francis or Jeff they suck, whatever, doesn't matter. Email us at cdsportscast@hotmail.com.
I didn't use it on you, Jeff, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine that way. All right, cool. Well, let's get into our interior defensive linemen. If you remember last week, we did edge defenders, and that was 3-4 and 4-3. 4-3 edge
outside
guys.
linebackers, 4-3 defensive ends.
Yep. So it's kind of a mix of people. So
now we'll do nose tackles and defensive tackles, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. That's what I did. So I hope we're all okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet. Let's go for it. We'll start with you, Francis. Who you got?
So my number 1 is Christian. I hope I don't put Barmore. Christian Barmore of Alabama. A lot of Alabama names, obviously. You play for Alabama, it's a good chance you're going pro. One thing I liked about Christian Barmore, he's a redshirt sophomore, so on the younger side. Only played 2 years at Alabama, but had Pro Football Focus grades of 87.8 and 89.9. So there's that. For this list, a lot of it had to do with size. Are they tall? Because for me, I'm looking for that like Calais Campbell type,
Sure.
like prime Calais Campbell, or maybe a more recent. For me, would be like a Jeffrey Simmons type player, like big destructive guys in the middle. I don't say Aaron Donald because he's not tall. Aaron Donald,
Sure.
I think Aaron Donald's only like 6'1",
Yeah, I was going to say 6'2" or 6'1".
He's not a tall guy. But for me, Christian Barmore, he's my number 1, 6'5", 310. did start slow this year, but after he got, kind of warmed up,
Sure.
kind of got his legs under him and everything, he really picked up, especially in the college football playoff semifinal against Notre Dame. One of the things I noticed about him was he wasn't really consistent. He'd have those games where he was there, he was present, and then just those games, maybe we'll call it against top competition.
Sure.
Like Georgia, he didn't have a great game. The national championship game against Ohio State wasn't great. But even games like against Tennessee, he was meh. Outside of that,
For what you've seen, do you think it's a motor thing? Do you think it's a motivation thing?
it could be a motivation thing. It could be a scheme thing,
Sure.
But consistency is an issue. But that can be coached.
It can be beat into you.
Yep. Well, no, it can't because that's illegal.
That's only illegal if they find out about it.
This is not the 80s, Jake. Can't do that anymore.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do like he's bendy. You can get low on the tackles. But my biggest thing is consistency. But I really like him. Pro Football Focus has him comped to Gerald McCoy at the defensive tackle spot, and that's not bad. McCoy's had a good career. I believe he's still in the league. Some of these guys, I'm not gonna lie, everybody, defensive linemen are not our specialty, and there's not a whole lot of tape on them out there for us to watch.
Not a lot, but I did find a few. But yeah, let's see. Gerald McCoy, future at the Cowboys. Team interested in re-signing Pro Bowler. So it looks like he was with the Cowboys. Oh yeah, he was with the Cowboys.
He was?
Yeah, Gerald McCoy. Yeah. You remember that?
No.
Okay, well.
No, I don't.
I mean, we don't follow the Cowboys lane.
Yeah.
But yeah, nothing there I don't disagree with. I had him actually as my number 2, Christian Barmore. Like you said, he's a quick, athletic interior pass rush guy. Can be, I think, what Pro Football Focus said was a, quote, dangerous quarterback hunter. I could be wrong, but that's what I have in my notes. Maybe that was just me. Only one season as a starter, like you mentioned. Not entirely sure. In my opinion, that's a concern because Alabama, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alabama is very much like NDSU.
Yeah.
You have to work your way in unless you're a truly special talent.
Yep, exactly. But everything else, you actually covered what I had on Barmore, which is why I had him at number 2, which is also why I had him at number 2, because there is a guy I thought that was better at number 1 for me. And that guy was Alan McNeil of North Carolina State. 6'2", 320. And when I watched highlights of this guy, the first thing I saw was F word, he is quick. For his size, he's 320 pounds, and he's quick off the ball.
Sure.
Great first step. They in his highlighted package that I watched, there were 3 or 4 stunts in it, and he just did it with ease. And he would it was like he was gliding. It was weird watching an interior defensive lineman glide like that. It was just fast. I don't understand. I don't know how else to explain it, but he disrupts the line. He's a run stuffer. He's a straight ahead rush guy. The one thing about him, though, he can get hung up on pass plays a little bit. Unless the quarterback is on the move, he can get hung up a little bit on the pass rush. He's kind of more of a straight-ahead guy, not too much of a 3 technique.
Sure.
But, I mean, that's coachable, too. You work on utilizing that with his quickness and a couple of pass rush moves.
Low man wins.
Oh, God, he's going to be so good. It's that potential combined with how quick he is just naturally off the ball is why I had him above Barmore here. The comp I found on him was Javon Hargrave, but quicker.
Okay. Yeah, I had him at 2, mostly because there was a lot of concern about that pass rush. Just a lot of questions like why can't they get that pass rush out of him, and a lot of that is coaching.
Yeah.
Yep. Like how are you not teaching these guys at this level, especially in the ACC, to get low to win?
Yep.
At the line of scrimmage. And maybe it's a thing he just doesn't want to do. But
He's going to want to do it. He wants to be in the NFL.
Right? Yeah. Everybody's really high on him. I would have put him lower, just like I said. I'm looking for size alone. 320 keeps him at number 2 for me, but I would like, a guy a little taller. If the right team can unlock his full potential, like get those pass rush moves, develop those pass rush moves, he could be special. I think everybody that has been talking about him has like the most potential out of the interior defensive linemen in this draft, I should say.
I was just blown away how quick he was in those highlights. It was ridiculous, and I was super impressed. All right, so moving on. So we did our number 1, which mine was Alan McNeil. Yours was Christian Barmore. My number 2 was Christian Barmore. Yours was Alan McNeil. We flip-flopped. Number 3 is a guy that I had from Iowa by the name of Davion Nixon. 6'3", 305. He's a sturdy kid. He can hold down his own at the line. And he can also move well laterally to fill gaps and make people... make running backs like bounce it out or be like, oh, crap, I can't go through that hole. He doesn't need a little bit of work off the ball. He's a little bit slow off of that, but honestly, that little twitch can be coached and brought to life in the weight room too. So that's not terribly concerning off the bat. Maybe a little bit of a project for him to work on once he does get into the league. His pass rush, though, it has been labeled as rare.
Okay.
For an interior guy. But with that said, though, the way that he gets off the ball, he's probably more suited for a 4-3 scheme than a 3-4.
3-4, sure.
A one-year starter only. He does seem streaky at times. It's almost like, again, it's that effort thing. We don't know if it's effort. We don't know if it's scheme, but it seems like he goes in streaks. The comp that I actually found on him, and I'm not sure if I got this off Pro Football Focus or not because my notes aren't great on this one, but Kawan Short from Carolina, actually just got released from Carolina, actually. Short ended up being a second-round pick guy. He turned into one of the better interior pass rushers in the NFL before injuries derailed him, which is a big reason why Carolina ended up letting him go. But Nixon, he's got that similar style of play, and is actually about the same stature too. I think Short is 6'3", 315, 320, something like that. So I don't know. I feel like he can maybe be a similar caliber as a pro. In that regard. So, Davion Nixon, number 3 for me.
Outside of that, I have Nixon at 5. And my big thing is interior defensive linemen need to get off blocks, especially in the run game. If you can't do that, you're not going to play. Because your job in the interior is to plug up running lanes.
And his lateral movement is okay in that regard.
Yep.
It's just that what I noticed, too, is the double teams. He struggles on the double team.
Sure. Yeah, it's... So, I mean... I don't have anything to add outside of that. Just he's got to get off the block. 6'3", 305. He's got good size.
Yeah.
And good size, good feet. Now I just got to learn to use the hands. Get your hands moving. Take some boxing classes.
Sure.
Get your hands going, and I think he'll be really good.
Cool. Moving on. Actually, I'll go over to Jeff. Well, I will go over to Jeff.
Okay.
So Jeff's number 3 was Marvin Wilson.
Okay.
My number 4 was actually Marvin Wilson.
As was mine.
From Florida State. It is, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. We got to do my number 3. We skipped my number 3.
Crap.
What?
Well, now you know our number 4.
That's fine.
Davion Dixon is Jeff's number 4.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Wait. Timing's everything.
We don't even care.
There we go. All right.
Jeff, I swear we consider you a good friend.
My name is Jeff.
We do.
We do.
For realsies.
Oh no, I am having some internet issues here on my Chromebook.
Beavis and Butthead break?
Yeah. Well, I can't get up what I have for my number 4, so I'll just tell you Tyler Shevlin out of LSU. He's a junior. That's all I got since all my notes aren't loading for him.
Okay.
So
I can look it up real fast. Pro Football Focus, PFF.com.
Owned by Chris Collinsworth.
Hey, CC,
Seriously.
hit me up, bro.
Give us a call, Chris.
Come on, man.
Let's make this happen.
All right. I'm sorry. Who is your number 3?
Tyler Shelvin.
Tyler Shelvin. I got this.
I actually got it.
Oh, all
Came
right.
up. Yeah, you're in. I don't know what's going on with your internet.
Nothing.
But it was.
I got
okay.
fine connection. I'm sitting right next to you.
I don't know. Maybe it's just my Chromebook.
I don't know.
And no, I'm not doing what you think I'm doing on it.
Well, what's that?
Oh, I just assumed you were going to hit the Beavis and Butthead sounder.
I could have, but I was on the wrong computer.
You had a missed golden opportunity.
I was on the
my
wrong
man.
computer, man. I'm sorry. It would have been great. It would have been great. But, I mean,
All right.
better late than never.
Timing is everything. So, why I have Tyler Shevlin at 3, and this is going to be, like I said, size 6'3", 346. Now that's your typical like nose tackle type. Vince Wilfork.
Yeah.
You remember him for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Patriots
Yep.
and even the Texans there for a while. That's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a large human being to move. With that weight, you've got that leverage. He's probably got, when I say 346, he's probably sitting at like a 50-pound advantage over a center and maybe a 20-pound advantage over a guard.
That's nuts.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's really big. It's actually, his weight is actually one of his weaknesses. You can't keep, getting too big or too low,
Yeah.
And we've all had issues with weight at one point, I'm
Unless
sure.
you're Gilbert Brown, I swear to God, that guy just gained and gained and gained, and it did not matter.
Do you remember Tractor Trailer in the NBA?
Oh my God, yes.
That's right. That's the name. That is the Cellar Dweller Sportscast name drop of the week.
Dang, yes it is.
That we should do that.
That's a good idea.
Name drop, of, the week. Oh, I
Book
love
it.
it.
I'm gonna put that down right in here. I
Yep,
don't know.
we got it. Sometimes you just do things and it just works.
Of the week. Also, call Chris Collinsworth
Or Al Michaels, whichever picks up.
or Al Michaels.
Actually, let's call them both anyway, because I would love to talk to Al Michaels.
Right? Yeah, that'd be great.
Especially since I believe that was last week. We had 41 years since
Yeah.
Miracle on Ice that,
Yes, it
that Al
was.
Michaels called.
Do you believe in miracles?
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Get
We're-
chills every time.
Every time.
America.
I'm going to go home and watch Miracle.
Oh, that's
no,
a great-
I'm not.
Come on.
Wilder on.
Oh, that's
I gotta
right.
watch hockey
Yeah, we gotta watch
tonight.
hockey. Maybe this weekend.
Yeah. I don't have a lot for him. Just got to keep his weight under control, keep it at a good pace, and which is weird that he couldn't do it at LSU because like those big SEC schools and even NDSU has it now. They have team nutritionists.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be an issue.
It does seem odd.
Unless you're going out and just like pigging out or whatever, but that can be fixed. That can be coached and monitored. But I love his size and I want him. He gets his weight under control and he's going to be really, really good in this league. I
Sure,
think
yeah.
that's why I have him at 3.
Spoiler alert, I do not have Shelvin on my top 5 at all.
Oh,
But
well,
I have an
that's
explanation as to why later.
rude. Okay.
All right, so getting into number 4. My number 4, I already said it, but I'm going to say it again. Marvin Wilson, Florida State. Francis also has the same. Jeff's was Davion Nixon of Iowa, which I had at number 3. But yeah, we'll get into number 4. Our number 4, Marvin Wilson, Florida State, 6'3", 319. Now, I want to start off by saying this. One of the gambles of actually going back to school after you've already rolled for the past 2 years is you might do worse and hurt your stock.
Sure.
Which is possible because Marvin Wilson didn't have a great year. 2018, 2019 was pretty good to get him in probably early day 2.
Okay.
2020, not so much, but everybody can have an off year, right?
Right.
He's not entirely overwhelmingly fast or powerful. He does have a nice combination of speed and strength to get that upfield push when he needs to. With that said, he does, if he gets too high, because, leverage wins. If he gets too high, he gets in trouble, but that's coachable. And just maintaining leverage, better technique. He is very stout and good in the run game. He's got good instincts and vision to break down a play and adjust to the quarterback moving around the pocket. I did notice that he had some good strength to fight through blocks in some of his film that I looked at. He made some offensive linemen just look silly. Just cutting through them like a hot knife through butter sometimes. It was nuts. He's got good length, and that does make it tough for offensive linemen to sustain their blocks against him because he can swipe their arms away a little bit quicker. And he's got that quickness to close a little bit, too. The comp that I found on him, too, and actually after I looked it up a little bit more, is a smaller Sean Rogers.
Okay.
If you remember Sean Rogers
okay.
back in the day.
That's not quite name drop of the week. I nailed it.
You nailed it with Tractor Trailer because, oh, my God. But, no, a smaller Sean Rogers. Both offered a little bit more, some good explosiveness than typical for a nose tackle.
Sure.
Not overwhelmingly fast, but off the ball and getting that push, that first little jump is kind of what we were comparing it and what the comparison was all about. So that's what I had from Marvin Wilson.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add on him. Yeah, you nailed it. I mean but just like you said, 2020 hurt him, hurt his stock. Hopefully he has a good pro day and build it back up a bit. But
and he does have plenty of tape still from 18 and 19. I mean, it could hurt him a little bit because 2020 wants to see how you progress, not regress.
Right.
So it could hurt him, but I don't know. I still think he might be a round two, not round two, but like a day two guy.
A day two guy, sure.
Yeah, so. That's what I had for Marvin Wilson.
We got one more each?
We do have one more
You
each.
have one more.
Oh, yeah.
Because my fifth was Davion Nixon. So I'm done.
So number 5 for myself and for Jeff. I'm going to butcher this name.
Do you want me to give it a
yes,
shot?
Yes,
okay.
please.
Okay.
God, do that.
Osa Idigizwa?
Adigizwa.
Adigizwa?
Adigizwa?
Sure.
Okay. Osa Adigizwa. From UCLA, 6'2", 280. He's a smaller guy. He's a smaller interior player, but is definitely has that explosive ability and big lower half to help with the push. If he can gain some weight, because he's only 280, and that's actually a lot of scouts are like, he needs to gain some weight.
You got to put on about 15 pounds.
15 minimum.
Minimum.
But if he gains that weight, he could absolutely develop into a possible starter. If he doesn't gain the weight, he's probably looking at being a designated pass rusher from the middle.
Sure.
He has shown an ability to make some tackles for loss and getting those sacks by firing into the backfield with as light and as quick as he can be. However, in the NFL, as we all know, he's going to have to gain that weight if he wants to stay on the inside. He needs to get stronger and be a 3-down starter. If he's not interested in doing that, he needs to let people know now.
Yep.
Because if they draft him and they want him to play inside as a 3-down guy and they want him to put on that 15, 20, 25 pounds, he's going to have to do that. If he doesn't want to do that, he's going to have to speak up now.
If he doesn't want to put on the weight, then I mean, everything I'm reading about him says that if he doesn't want to put on that weight, he's going to have to learn to play outside.
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Probably standing up too as a 3-4 outside outside linebacker.
Which is interesting because as a smaller player on the inside, you feel like his agility might be better than most, right? Not so much.
Still need that size.
Still need the size.
That 270. So Pro Football Focus has him at 279. I saw that. He's off my board. Like I couldn't.
Sure.
I couldn't put him on there.
Oh, I got you. The comp I saw, and I think it was on Pro Football Focus, was a lighter Shelby Harris from Denver Broncos, if you're familiar.
Yep.
Now it's time for me to explain myself. So I gave Osa the edge over Tyler Shelvin.
Okay.
Just because Shelvin opted out in 2020. And not just because of that, it's because Osa actually has started 3 straight seasons and has been effective in those 3 straight seasons. So I kind of gave him that edge a little bit. I do agree with you. I like Shelvin's size, and obviously is bigger than Osa here. But I think that experience is extremely valuable, and that's the reason why I was struggling to put him above Osa here as well. So Shelvin and him were kind of going back and forth for my number 5. Also, in the rest of mine too, so I gave the edge to Davion Nixon over Marvin Wilson. So Davion Nixon, if you remember, I had him at number 3. Marvin Wilson at number 4. So I gave the edge to Nixon on that just due to physicality. And with some established consistency, could be real effective in the middle. He does shed blocks well. Wilson shed some weight and isn't as athletic as Wilson in the position for what I saw on watching some YouTube clips.
Yep.
And he does rely a little bit too much more on upper body versus quickness. One other explanation I feel like I need to give as well is having Alan McNeil over Christian Barmore, number 1, number 2.
Yeah, that was interesting to me.
So McNeil graded slightly better than Barmore for 2020. I think it was a 90.7 versus an 89.9. So not a huge difference, but a difference nonetheless. Run stuffing, nose tackle, explosive, will disrupt the line of scrimmage. Everything I already said earlier about him. I gave the edge because Barmore had that one season as a starter and wasn't consistent and more of a pass rush interior guy, which might limit his value to a team depending on down distance, whatever.
Right.
Almost the same situation as... I don't want to put him in the exact same situation as Osa, but similarly, you need to do one thing if you want to stay on the field.
Right.
In that regard.
And that's fair. My thing with Barmore and McNeil was there just, it seemed to be a lot of untapped potential with McNeil, and whether NC State couldn't unlock it or what's going on there. So that's why I had him at 2. But I mean, like we said, we're novices at this scouting, and we'll get better.
We're novices, but at the same time, it's fun to have that discussion,
it's
though.
so much fun.
It's fun to have the discussion and figure out why we put somebody where.
It's going to make the draft a whole lot more interesting to watch, isn't it?
Really will be, yeah. I'm going to go back in my notes and start reading some more. And yeah, no, it's absolutely interesting. But yeah, there you have it. Just a quick recap of the interior linemen, interior defenders that we had went over. My 1 through 5 is Alan McNeil, Christian Barmore, Davion Nixon, Marvin Wilson, and Osa. I'm just going to call him Osa.
Just call him Osa?
From UCLA. Francis had Christian Barmore, Alan McNeil, Tyler Shelvin, Marvin Wilson, and Davion Nixon. And Jeff had Alan McNeil, Christian Barmore, Marvin Wilson, Davion Nixon, and Osa as well.
Osa.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's all I got, man. I can't.
Right.
I need to start looking them up and maybe pronouncing them correctly, but
yeah.
Dang, that's a good one.
That's a hard one.
That's hard, yeah.
All right.
But
We're done scouting for the day.
That was it.
For the episode. All
yes,
right.
Sir.
Oh, man.
Special announcements? What does this mean?
So I was thinking about this last week when we were doing our quarterback and edge rushers. Every week, and I'm going to invite you into this now. I'm going to do a mock draft, just a first round mock draft. All 32 picks, and I'm going to post it to Facebook. But I thought it would be fun if we're going to do it every week up until the draft, and they're going to be posted on Tuesdays. Okay. We'll post it because we have Rob doing the Raw versus Nitro on Monday, which if you guys haven't read his Raw versus Nitro reviews, go do it. Like it is crazy detailed. It's so good.
And it's the late, it's the mid 80s to through 90s wrestling.
Yep.
And it brings back so many memories.
I think it goes early 2000s
even
because Nitro is into the early 2000s. Yeah. But yeah, a whole lot of fun. Good. Shout out to Rob.
I got to say the most favorite part for me on those articles is not only does he go through each like match and like the show overall
episode, yep,
but he also gives his own like flavor and opinion in it.
Yep.
And it is just so fun to read.
It's so well written.
I can always totally just picture Rob saying all this too.
Right.
It's great. Kudos, Rob. You're
off
the best,
on a
man.
tangent. Have you seen his Dr. Pepper flavor review? Taste reviews on Facebook.
Yes, we're going to plug that right now. You can find that on YouTube.
He's got it on YouTube?
Find
Oh
Rob
my God.
Schnitzer on YouTube, and he does a Dr. Pepper comparison. What he does is he takes actual Dr. Pepper,
Yep.
and then he goes and gets all of these different, like, generic
Yep.
brand Dr.
Like Dr.
Peppers.
Shasta.
Yeah,
I
some
can't
ones I've
even
even
remember.
heard of.
Yeah.
He's got so many I haven't even heard of either. But he posts these videos. He posts them on Facebook. He posts them on YouTube, and he compares them to the actual Dr. Pepper, and it is awesome. You have to watch it. It's so cool.
It's fantastic. But anyway, back to what we were saying. I'm gonna do a mock draft, just first round, 32 picks. But what I thought would be fun is if you wanted to do it with me, and we'd each pick 16 teams.
Oh,
Or 16 of the picks.
okay. So like
And-
we trade off, or how do we?
Yep,
do it?
we could trade off, or we flip a coin. I get the even number picks, you get the odd number picks, or whatever. Our winner gets their pick of which one they do.
I'm interested, but let's take this offline and figure out logistics.
Sounds good.
All right.
But that is coming starting next Tuesday. We'll have the first one up, and then for those of you out there who like our football podcast, maybe you're a baseball fan. We're all baseball fans here. You, me,
Yeah.
and Jeff, and even Rob. He's a Mets fan. Poor guy. Makes up for it, though, with that Raw versus Nitro and the Dr. Pepper.
Does
It's so good.
He does.
We want to talk about baseball. We do. We love talking about baseball. So we decided that we're going to start a second podcast dedicated to baseball.
yeah.
We're not. The first one will be recorded next week. I believe that was agreed upon by us on Monday. Correct?
Yeah, it should be fine. Yep.
We haven't. These episodes won't launch on the same day. We're going to give you one day football, one day baseball, and yeah, those of you baseball fans out there who want your baseball fix, come give us a listen. Give us your thoughts give us your thoughts on our thoughts of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
There, I nailed it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
Pro baseball reference or pro baseball focus.
Yeah.
I think Joe Morgan runs that one.
He's not alive.
Oh, whoops. Ozzie Smith. Nailed it.
Okay, there we go. All right. Wow, that got real awkward.
Yeah, yep.
Anyway, hey, in light of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign off this episode of the Cellar Dweller Sportscast, not with our normal song, but with a fun one to close it out. We thank you for listening. For Francis Parkman, I am Jake Salter. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.